Okay, first of all, welcome you all to Root Institute. The Root Institute in Bodhgaya, the place where the Buddha attained enlightenment. This is extremely significant, very important place. And of course, we all know the Buddha's biography, which we'll learn more in more detail later on. And our time together here is extremely short. In fact, just from yesterday's at the airport, Delhi airport, meeting with many of the people who I know, and even today I can see that most of you are who I already know so well from many years ago. So the point is that I just wish that if this retreat can be a little longer, maybe like 10 days, but it's already planned for 1 week. And so our job is to see how to make the most of our being together here. And it doesn't mean that we just rush. This is not the idea. What do we learn? We'll try to learn the maximum, meanwhile try our best to make the greatest sense of the reason why we are here together. And I'm going to quickly give you a little bit of orientation of what the next 1 week is going to be like, related to the retreat per se, not about the logistics, about the retreat. For your information, this book is available to us, of course, the publication of Tibet House, and this extremely precious book. And particularly those of us who already know about this book will explain to you how important this book is and how this book came into existence. And that just for information, that it was the time since I was translating for His Holiness the Dalai Lama back in 2004, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that His Holiness used to give teachings on of course, very important texts, sutras, Indian commentaries, and so forth. So me as the English translator, my job was to make sure that the materials were available in English. And then those which are already available, I use them. Those which are not available, I translate. So this is how this book gradually built up. And then over time, I came to feel that because the materials are available there, and why not we compile this in the form of a book. And then later on added more materials to this. So this is how this book came into being the last almost like 20 years. Almost like 20 years. Yeah, this effort of so many hands and many translators involved, whose materials we use by seeking permission from them. And the editors also involved. For example, like here we have Tejala Resent. Tejala, who did a great deal of work on this, editing this work, and there are many hands involved as editors. And so that's about the materials that they're extremely, extremely important, and particularly people who are dependent on English for Dharma knowledge, and who are long-term practitioners. They come to see this book. They actually commented that they've been looking for such a book for all these many years, 30, 40 years. For the first time, they are seeing something concrete, everything compiled in one. So this is an extremely important book. And still, you will not find this in Amazon. You will not find this. So this you can get only from Tibet House. But for you, this is your own private copy. This copy is coming to you for free through kind generosity of a couple, the brother Alvin and the sister Christy. Two of them so kindly offered and informed us, Tibet House, that this book, please print as many copies, and they'll be happy to support financially, and that the books to be distributed to the wherever the retreats are happening, and people who come for the retreats, for them to be distributed freely. So this is why you're getting this book free. This is your copy. And yes, if you are interested to take part in future programs like this, retreats, Bodhicitta retreat, and many other retreats are there, then I would highly suggest you to bring your own copy. Yeah. This is one thing. And then as I said earlier, the next 1 week is going to be extremely important. It's very short duration. And then we try to be as ambitious to cover as many topics, almost like if you're being very consistent with what we're going to do the next 1 week, we see that the majority of the Buddhist concepts will be covered, be it from the Theravada point of view, the Chinese tradition point of view, Tibetan tradition point of view, from all the Buddhist traditions, the core of the Buddha's message will be covered in these 1 week. And also that the earlier, we used to have like 4 sessions plus 1 morning session, total 5 sessions, and then 2 the group discussion, 7 plus 1 optional, like 8 sessions a day. But now 1 session is cut due to I'm aging, we're all aging, right? So I cannot run as fast as how I used to run. So I remember Tenzin reciting the beautiful Aratara mantra. Tenzin raised hand. Yes, that was many years ago when all of us, wherever we were then, we were, I think about like how many years younger? 7 years younger? 8 years younger. All of us, not only me, right? All of us 8 years younger. So the point is that we'll try to make the most of our being together. No time for gossiping, no time for gupshup. What's gupshup? Gossip. And no time for let's have a meeting over a cup of tea and so forth in some cafeteria and so forth. No time. And after this retreat, yes, then you have time, you can meet. This retreat, because that it is not just one person, me, trying to run so fast. This will not help, and you should also be able to run with me so fast. If you cannot run, again, I have to wait. So the point is that you should, and then it doesn't mean that you should be it doesn't mean that you should be extremely intelligent and sharp, that that you can run so fast as what I'm doing. What is required is your consistency is required. Your consistency, Rishi, down, from down, yeah. Your consistency is required and your passion is required. Okay, so these 2 things, where you have these 2 things, it doesn't matter whether you are academically rich or academically weak, poor. It doesn't matter. I know that some of you are academically extremely accomplished. I know that some of us may not be as accomplished academically. Don't worry. I need only what I expect from you is 2 things. One is consistency, and the other is the interest in attending this retreat, interest in learning. And this learning is not that you have to follow what I'm saying. This is not the point. It is like just pick up the information. You don't have to accept, you don't have to reject. Just pick up the information. Make sure that you pick up the information correctly. And then finally, your job is to process them. Process them to see if they make sense to you. If they make sense to you, good. If not, don't discard them right away. You don't accept them also. Keep them there for the time being. Later on, you may become more mature to see that what we learned before would make sense one day. Okay, this is one thing. And then there are several things for us to know. Number one is that the morning session. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Our morning session is going to be from 5:45 through to 8. A little over 2 hours morning session. Unlike the earlier days, nowadays I'm not so keen to conduct the morning programs, the early morning program. But then this time, since the airport meeting with the participants, I see that there are many serious ones, and I can see that there are many of you who are serious. This is what I can see, because of which, and the duration is very short. So I'm keen to do the morning session as well. Morning session from 5:45 through to 8. And the other logistics like setting the offering balls, water ball offerings, then the light, setting all the altar, these things, the volunteers should be informing you by turn. It is for the reason that everybody will learn what is happening, what is the tradition. You will learn about it to know that there's no problem. And some people may not be too happy with the rituals. Don't worry about it. Just learn it, and then after you learn it, then you discard it if you are not keen on rituals. I personally am not keen on rituals. Yeah. Okay. Then in the mornings, what do we do? I see that most of you are from the long-term Dharma practitioner, and but there are some who are new. For those who are new, I'd like to quickly give you the intro. Morning, we do like 5 minutes prostrations. And the prostration, how we do is just make it very quick. And otherwise, we see that in a way, the newcomers, you are very lucky that there are many who are long-term practitioners. Long-term practitioners and really not just practitioner, really exposed to the very standard systematic study of the Dharma, which allows them to practice the Dharma very effectively. So you can ask them, what is the significance and how do we do that and so forth. They're making prostrations. In the first place, why do we make prostrations? To make it very quick, prostration has a connotation of showing respect. You have to know the reasons. If you don't know the reasons, it may turn out to be pure ritual. And some people are averse to this. Prostration has a connotation of expressing the respect. And why we show respect is because you appreciate the qualities of objects to which you make prostration. Like what? Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. To the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So the triple gem. We make prostrations to them. And why we make prostrations to them? Of course, more detail we'll study from tomorrow about the Buddha nature and just systematically what you have potential to have, how to awaken, why to awaken this, how to awaken this, and what is the process like, all will be studied from tomorrow. But to make it very quick, the prostration is to open up the receptivity for you to learn the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha in terms of like Buddha Shakyamuni, how he and all the other Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they become Buddhas. What made them become Buddhas? Why we take them as very important is because of they having attained some qualities. What are these qualities? I like to learn from them. For that, we need to be receptive to learn. If the receptivity is close, you will not learn anything. So when those of us from from schools like Minodiji, the principal of Shikshandar school, and then other the academicians, you are there, and then the Manjuriji professor in anthropology, yes. So they know that learning takes place when your mind has a passion to learn. If you don't have the passion to learn, nothing works. So this passion, When you show they say the passion, the receptivity opens up. With the receptivity, then things, you imbibe things. The knowledge that we are to learn from, the qualities that we are to learn from Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. In more detail, we'll study from tomorrow. Then the making prostrations, there are so many the versions of the prostrations, physical versions, like Japanese style, Indian style, and then the Korean style, Chinese style, Tibetan style. There are so many versions are there, and which of the version is correct, which is not. All the versions are correct as long as it triggers a sense of receptivity in your mind. All these physical gestures, being prostrations, verbally uttering something, these are all meant to trigger the mental qualities within you. They should trigger. If by reciting 100,000 mantras, if the mind is not at all triggered anywhere, you remain the same person, angry, short-tempered, the self-grasping, self-centered, egoistic, then the whole purpose is defeated. So all these, including the verbal recitations and the physical gestures, being prostrations, offering lights, circumambulation, mandal offering, and so forth, all these should be should serve as the factors to bring about transformation in your mind. That is the key. Let's not forget it. Okay, so all these are not just dry rituals, redundant or obsolete rituals. Rather, they are to create a trigger, the Buddha energy inside us to be awakened, that you become more compassionate, that you become more sensible person, that you become more smart person, intelligent person, and that who can really work to benefit the beings in a very holistic, I think, comprehensive way. Okay, so prostrations we do for 5 minutes tomorrow, and when making prostrations. So finally, it is said that the Buddha's teachings, the Buddha's teachings, is regarded as the science of mind. It's considered some science. It's purely scientific. It doesn't mean that we have to prove that the Buddha's teaching is scientific. Scientific in ways that finally we are seeking happiness. We want to stay away from suffering. And what actually attracts happiness, what actually attracts miseries, is all your mental phenomena, the mental processes. So we have to transform this mental process so that your mental miseries will be shunned and your happiness will be embraced and made it more extensive or expensive. So that's the purpose. With mind, it's purely how your mind thinks. If you think of making prostration, just yourself making prostration to only one Buddha, you spend like say 5 minutes, so you get 5 units of, say, merit. Whereas if you can think differently, like say that, okay, I'm making prostration with my 2 parents, with all my family members, with all the sentient beings, everyone who is suffering in the war-torn zones, and the animals who are being killed, how many people are dying, insects and so forth, all the sentient beings, I'm giving them the opportunity to join you in making prostrations. And imagine that everybody's joining you. Say your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, they may be past. For example, in my case, I lost my parents already, they're already gone, but you can still visualize them with you, doing prostration with you, and so forth. And then making prostrations not only to one Buddha, but to innumerable, the whole space filled with Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. So if you can do that, then your, say, the merit accumulation will multiply infinitely. So it's all about, say, the knowing. For example, like somebody, knowing how to manage your family, just manage the family. Somebody who knows how to manage the whole world. Both spend like 1 hour each, but one can manage not only one family, like thousands of families are managed by one person. For example, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, how he manages his plan to think of the world, how to bring a better world, where including the stopping the domestic violence, to stopping the wars in the world. So how one person can think of these? And he still spends 1 hour, and we spend 1 hour just thinking of, okay, how to get good food, where to get cheesecake, and so forth. You just think about yourself. But since you don't think of the whole universe, whole world, you both spend 1 hour each, but the productivity is different depending on how you can think. So therefore, say making the prostration and how you do that make the whole difference. It's not about, okay, I made 100,000 prostrations. That's not the point. Say one prostration, if you visualize all the beings with you, visualize all the Buddhas with you, one prostration can be, the benefit can be multiplied by infinity. Versus somebody making really, taking like, say the 3 months, 4 months, making prostrations every day, thousands of prostrations, but only think about yourself and think about the one Buddha. So therefore, your mind is, for this reason that the Buddha's teachings is known as the teaching of the science of mind. Okay. Likewise, after making prostrations, we'll make the light offerings. And why again light offering? Why light offering? Why? Light is symbolic of the wisdom. Because, say, those of us from the, what is that? The Nordic countries. Anyone raise hands? Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, and so forth. Okay. So and then also European countries. You have the experience. The window very short. 3 p.m. already, night falls, right? And then it's cold, wet, and mind also goes down. Yes? Is it true? Ajikasala? True? The mind goes down, feels so gloomy, everything's so quiet, right? Okay. So the darkness, instant, the moment it becomes dark, your mind also becomes like, gloomy and feel really painful. You feel so lonely, painful. This happens. Say the Sweden and the Ukraine, Finland. So these countries, with the summer, they feel the excessive joy because of the bright light, because of the sun. So sun, the light, is symbolic of the wisdom to dispel the darkness of ignorance. This is extremely important things. So these are the human psychology, where external things, you do something externally that affects your mind. You verbally say something that affects your mind. So offering light again is extremely important thing. The thing is that offering light, just don't think that, oh, I'm offering light is a ritual. No, if this is the thought behind what you're doing, then the benefit is so less. Instead, if you think of, okay, I'm offering the light, is symbol of the offering the light of the wisdom. All our problems are attracted by ignorance. All problems are because of ignorance, believe it or not, including domestic violence, disharmony in community, whatever. So we see that there's somewhere the ignorance is responsible. For example, just say that whole world, all the world leaders are like His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Trillions and trillions of dollars can be saved. No wars. Everybody is going to support each other. So like COVID-19. With COVID-19, what happened? Say almost like every country, they're like in support of each other. Knowing that if you suffer, I suffer. If COVID continue in your country, it continues to spread in my country. So we should support each other. So this taught us the interdependency. So with this, instead of pushing, destroying, we extend help, support, harmony to each other. So with this in mind, ignorance is the root of all the miseries. This is what we're going to learn from tomorrow. This is what the Buddha taught here. Buddha Shakyamuni. So those of us who attend by the way, those of us who could not attend this the temple visit today, don't feel that, okay, you missed something. No. Usually this is personally on day one, I'd go on my own just to pay respect, and then the official or the more formal visit is made collectively or together. We go there. So that will happen day after tomorrow. So you did not miss anything, right? Those of us who came late, Don't worry. You did not miss anything. So whatever we did today will be done day after tomorrow as well. Okay. So offering a light again. Don't think that I'm just offering one light. Imagine that you are joined by infinite number of beings offering the light of the wisdom. And this light, not only one light, just imagine the whole universe filled with light and offered to all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas to dispel the darkness of ignorance from wherever in the world, in the universe. Okay, this is the next thing to be done. And then the very important thing is that in the mornings, because that we have only 1 week, is very short, and I see that there are many of you who are very serious in Dharma practice, and I just felt yesterday that how good would have been if a retreat is like 10 days. It doesn't matter. We'll make it a little more, the intense, meaning that we'll try to, but don't think that it's going to be too taxing, too tiring for you. Don't think like this. Of course, we will have 1 morning practice session and 3 classes and 2 group discussions. And group discussions, there are many of the long-term phases I know. So I would identify some of you to lead the group, particularly those who attended the retreats, who know how to lead the group. Doesn't mean that you are the leader. It's like the moderator. You make sure that everybody gets a chance to speak, and not that the people who are more exposed to the philosophy, they throw all the jargons and complicated questions, and the newcomers, they get lost. So this should not happen. That is the job of the moderator, to make sure that everybody gets a chance, including newcomers. Okay, so the group discussions, there will be 2 group discussions in daytime and the evening. I would say in the night, meaning after dinner, 1 group discussion that is optional. There's going to be 1 group, and the others we may split into like 4 or 5 groups, into smaller groups. Yeah. Okay. This is one thing. Group discussions, and I'm reiterating this here, that particularly those of us who are exposed to the Buddhist philosophy for an extended period of time, and please, I request you not to make the newcomers feel offended, because that if you throw all the jargons, your complicated questions right there, then newcomers will not feel like joining, will not feel included. This is, instead of helping, we may be harming, we may be accumulating negative karma, because we are discouraging somebody from following this beautiful tradition of compassion and the understanding of interdependency. So therefore, let us practice compassion. Although you have a lot to say, right? But restrain and let others speak, but newcomers speak. And then you can help to navigate a nice way from, say, the 2 to 3, not 2 to 200, right? You may have so many things to prove that you are somebody, right? But this may happen later, not in this 1 week retreat. It's very short, and please say later on, when you come to know each other so well, and if you sense that there are some who are beginners yet wanting to learn the sophistications of the Buddhist philosophy, which they thought that initially is compassion was extremely sophisticated, and they want to know about this, you can just briefly touch these areas. There are such sophistications there, so that they get some idea, and instead of feeling demoralized, they may be inspired to learn more. So this is what I'd like to make a request to, particularly those of us who are more exposed to the Buddhist philosophy for the last several years. Okay. Then the next is that this book, the idea is that it's not about, it has nothing to do with conversion, nothing to do with, say, that you should be Buddhist. No. Non-Buddhist, anybody, atheist can take part in this program. And the idea is just Take the information, don't accept, don't reject. Take the information. For example, usually I say that you can enjoy pizza, you don't have to become Italian. You can enjoy pizza, no need to become Italian. You're getting it? Likewise, you can enjoy momos, don't become Tibetan. You're getting it? So the point is that see what makes sense to you. Take the information, for example, including what we do in the mornings, like prostrations, what is being done, light offerings, how they're done, and the mega offerings, water ball offerings, how they're done, and then then this book, all the sessions, all the the 3 sessions we read from this material, and also before the lunch, before the 3 meals, breakfast, the lunch and dinner. Again, we use this book to read like the 15-20 verses from this. And the reason is that on the one hand, we are doing one class. Parallel to that, reading from this, from different sources, it is like doing 2 classes simultaneously. So there's a double benefit for us. And you see that what we studied, you can see what is being read. So there, it makes sense to you because you are studying something that has a great benefit for you to understand what we are reading. In a way, you are getting like 2 things parallel. So this is one thing. And then let us not be lazy that to keep this book always on your table, and then you go and then you share the book with somebody else. When you don't do that. Take this with you. Take this with you. This book with you. Okay. And okay, this is one thing. So the food offering, whenever you say in English, people call it grace. It's before we take the food, we offer the food offering verses from here. Everything is here in this book, and we read it, and then we read 15 verses plus the food offering, the 2-3 verses before we actually have the food. And then we offer the food to Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, Triple Gem. Again, as a reminder for us to connect ourselves with the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha in order for us to learn from them what is compassion and what is universal, the wisdom. Okay, so this book is very important for us. And I think that is the classes are extremely important because because this is going to be a very intense class. Intense class doesn't mean that okay, how can I manage? Will I really manage? Don't worry. I only need 2 things from you. One is consistency, and the other one is your interest. If these 2 things are there, it doesn't matter what is the level of your intelligence. It doesn't matter for me. You're getting it? You will get something. And if you miss one class, then the flow, the momentum will be disrupted with you. You may get lost. What are you doing? So therefore, I would suggest that only if you have health issues, there's always exception. Otherwise, I would suggest you to be as regular as possible. Then the next thing is about there are 2 things happening. One is in the main temple, we're going to take the aspiration bodhisattva vow tomorrow. And aspirational bodhisattva vow, it doesn't mean that you should be a Buddhist. It does not require that. Bodhisattva vow, there are 2 kinds. One is the aspirational bodhisattva vow, and the other one is engaged bodhisattva vow, or the full-fledged bodhisattva vow. There are 2. For the full-fledged bodhisattva vow, you should have some degree of experience of bodhicitta. For the aspiration bodhisattva vow, you don't require any of these. As long as you are committed to, if possible, help others. If not, at least not to harm others. This much, if you're committed, you're entitled to take the aspiration bodhisattva vow. And this is extremely beneficial. You see that if not in like 1 month, 2 months, for sure within 1, 2, 3, 4 years time, if you become very consistent with this practice, you see that you become more and more calm, more and more sensible, less and less the short-tempered person you will become. there's obvious transformation. And in fact, I'm always being inspired to listen to the stories of the people who come in contact with the Narendra Master's course, Narendra Development course, NDC, NMC, NDC, and also NCC1. Feedback from them that because of coming in contact with this teaching, compassion, the wisdom of the Narendra tradition taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, it really transformed their life. Their life has become meaningful. So these feedbacks are very inspiring. And yes, your life becomes way easier and your life becomes extremely meaningful. You truly become very sensible and more compassionate person. Okay, so this is what we expect to do. And given that I'm not too sure, Tejala, when is the Rajgir visit? Any idea? 17th. Okay, 17th is going to be a very important program for us. Every time we have the program here, Root Institute program, we go to Rajgir, the place where the Buddha Shakyamuni taught the Heart Sutra, and many other teachings were given there on the Rajgir, the Vulture's Peak. We go there, pay respect, we take the aspiration Bodhicitta vow, we recite the Heart Sutra, which was originally taught there, and then we also go to the Nalanda, erstwhile Nalanda University. Erstwhile Nalanda University, which existed from like 1st century AD through to like 13th century AD. So for about 1,300 years, or perhaps even more than that, this university existed, and we're going to go there, pay respect, and all these brilliant thoughts which we're learning here. And in the monastic universities, the extremely refined scholars, even they spend like 10, 20, 30 years to learn what we inherited from that university, erstwhile Nalanda University. So now it's no more there, but we are the lineage holder. We are the lineage holders of this tradition, the rich philosophical tradition, and we go there to mentally inform the great Nalanda masters like Arya and all these great masters that we are your heirs. We came here to inform you that your tradition, this incredibly great legacy for the world peace, for the world harmony, that legacy has not died. We are the heirs of your incredibly precious tradition for the world, for the universe. So we are here to inform you that we are your heirs. So, as a proof of that, then we teach Arya the text, Mula Madhyamaka Karika, the fundamental wisdom of the middle way, chapter 24. We teach it there because that was the one which was actually most likely composed in Nalanda, erstwhile Nalanda Monastic University. So we're going to teach this as a gesture to inform them that we are your heirs in true sense of the word. Okay. So with this in mind, now we will turn to this book because that we have very short time, and usually for the full-fledged, they say aspiration Bodhisattva vow, minimum it takes me like 3-4 days of explanation. So since that we have to do day after tomorrow, we don't have much time. So I have to explain some of the few things of what we do, what do you do in the mornings. From this book, I'm going to explain to you here, so that we'll be more prepared tomorrow. And after tomorrow, we're going to take the full-fledged aspirational Bodhisattva vow under the Bodhi tree, where the Buddha Shakyamuni became enlightened under the Bodhi tree, and what the Buddha Shakyamuni was doing under the Bodhi tree. So this is what we're going to do there, to emulate what the Buddha Shakyamuni was doing under the Bodhi tree when he was designated as the attained the full awakening. Okay, with this in mind, let us turn to page 3. Setting a proper motivation makes the whole difference. So setting proper motivation makes the whole difference. Every time we do the morning session, we do we set a proper motivation. setting proper motivation consists of 3 points. 3 points: refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. 3. Let me repeat it: refuge field, Bodhicitta field, and the purpose of this practice. Refuge field: what to visualize and how to visualize. Okay, first listen, then as we actually read this, then the way required, I will do the explanation. Okay, refuge fields, visualize Buddha Shakyamuni, the Prince Siddhartha who became enlightened on the Bodhi tree here. Then also His Holiness the Dalai Lama today, the living Buddha for all of us, and then all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas from the various traditions, like Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, all the different, the Buddhist traditions, Tibetan traditions, Sakya, Kakyu, Nyingma, all traditions. The great enlightened beings happen in all traditions. That is in vogue, all of them. And how you visualize them. This is a key, that they are so kind, loving, caring, embracing to you and to all the beings. If you can visualize that to you, with respect to yourself, that look, this is what the Buddha Shakyamuni, how the Buddha Shakyamuni is looking at me with so much love and affection. His Holiness is looking at me with so much of love and affection, with his eyes glittering with affection. And then towards all beings, then the transformation happens way faster. And then the number 2 is let's take a few seconds to invoke all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in space and one of us, and particularly Buddha Shakyamuni and His Holiness the Dalai Lama, as so loving, caring, and embracing. Okay, Bodhicitta field. Visualize your two kind parents on the two sides, and all the family members, including children, and all demon sentient beings, the human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, Gandharvas, everyone, all sentient beings living on the side, and all the innumerable creatures in the water, in the oceans, the infinite, the trillions of creatures in the wilderness, from the big elephants to the small tiny insects there. Just visualize all of them with you. And how you visualize them, that you are like the mother and all others are like children. And you are looking at them, looking at each of these sentient beings with total love, affection, and attention. And the purposes of practice, mainly, we're going to learn from yesterday, tomorrow, but today, just a quick, like an intro, is to awaken your true nature, awaken the true nature of your mind. And that true nature of mind is known as the ultimate treasure, the hidden treasure of full awakening, hidden treasure of enlightenment, hidden treasure of infinite happiness and fearlessness. And that is present with everyone. Whether you're Buddhist, non-Buddhist, it doesn't matter. Whether you are male, female, it doesn't matter. Everyone has this potential, the hidden treasure of full awakening, the total fearlessness and infinite happiness. And our job is to awaken this. And somehow, why that seed is not awakened today, thus far, is because that incredibly precious potential is obscured by the mental defilements. And the mental defilements, somehow they're all the mental defilements. There are so many kinds are there. Broadly speaking, afflictive and cognitive. I'm not going to touch on this today. We'll be explained more in detail from tomorrow. And in other words, the mental defilements. And these mental defilements, somehow they're connected with ignorance. self-grasping ignorance. Either they're in the form of the offshoots of this self-grasping ignorance, or they are the subtle smells, subtle stains of this self-grasping ignorance. So our job is to eradicate these. To eradicate this, we need to know what remedies to apply. And the remedies lie in the wisdom of emptiness, ultimate wisdom, which we're going to study here. And also that this wisdom must be driven by very powerful motivation. There's a motivation of altruistic bodhicitta, the desire to become fully awakened, the way the manner in which Prince Siddhartha became enlightened under the Bodhi tree here. We aspire, we generate this very strong desire to emulate what Prince Siddhartha did under the Bodhi tree here, that we also like to become, and they say, to follow his footsteps, noble footsteps, to become awaken yourself, to benefit all the demonstration beings. So that's the whole purpose. With this in mind, let us read from page 3. Let us read from page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Okay, as we read these verses, there are 3 ways of doing it. There are 3 ways of doing this. Number 1, you read it where the words flow. Number 1. Number 2, words flow and the meanings reflected upon. The meanings are reflected in your mind. Number 2. Number 3, words flow, meanings reflected, and experiences invoked. Let me repeat it. Words flow, meanings reflected, and experiences invoked. So the third version of the reading takes place in those people who practice the Dharma form, who, number 1, who learn the Dharma very systematically well, and then once they know how to do that in a form of self-sufficient way, then actually practice it, and over time you gain experience, like compassion growing, your wisdom to see the dreamlike nature of all phenomena increases. To see dependent origination increases, it becomes sharpened. So this is the best way of reading these. And say whereas most of us, maybe we are not so developed in our meditation practice or the Dhamma practice, or we are newcomers to this teaching. For us, we can do the number 1 or number 2. Number 1, number 2, in both cases, we spend 2 hours. 2 hours gone. But if you do the second version, the benefit will be multiplied by thousands of times. And what do you want? Right? You want more benefit or less benefit is up to you. If you want more benefit, read it with the meanings reflected, where your minds are not distracted. Whereas if you sit for 2 hours, read, and then the meanings, your mind is distracted, meanings are not reflected. Then the benefit is so less, so minuscule. So why not we make the most of our being together here for the next 1 week, for which, at least if not the third one, we must attempt the second one, where words flow and the meanings are reflected. And within this 1 week's time, of course, don't expect that you are able to, wow, see emptiness, that's amazing. Now my anger is gone, is 0. Now my bodhicitta is right. Don't expect that, right? This is like planting the seed in the mind. Plant a seed, but there are many seniors. I can see them here, and the newcomers. You have to identify those who are the seniors. You have to identify them, and generally speaking, I would say NMC1, those who did NMC1, and then the NTC1, NTC2, NTC3, and then the NMC2, some of are here, NTC4 here, And not necessarily that should be somebody from Nalanda Studies, Tibetan Nalanda, no, Tibet House Nalanda Studies. You can from other courses as well. There are so number of very good courses offered by the different institutions. The point is that your knowledge is good. People can sense through the interactions, through the group, from the group discussions, how compassionate you are. This will tell you how compassionate you are, right? And when you speak something so sensible and very sensitive to others. You're concerned about others. From these will speak a lot about your Dharma practice, right? You may say that I'm from NMC 1, right? But if you don't demonstrate these qualities, then people will say, what is NMC 1? You're getting it? They will not really respect NMC 1. So the point is that it's not just, I said earlier, there are other courses as well, not necessarily the Tibetan courses. It's just examples. Because how I see many of the new the faces here, I can see that you are from the Nalanda Studies, the related. Okay. So next is the taking refuge and the General Bodhicitta. We'll first read the English 3 times, and then we'll read the Tibetan 1 time, and then I'll explain the Tibetan words so that you will come to know what are the meanings of these words that you are reciting. Okay, first let's say the English 3 times. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. By my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, the Tibetan form. Sangye jo da zoge chonam la chanjo bardo da chinso gebe sonam tola benjere sangye jo barasho. Okay, why I am reading the Tibetan form is because that many of you are already connected with some Tibetan the centers, and you know that many of you even know how to say this in Tibetan, right? And then somehow you are bound to meet with some centers. You'll feel connected, and then the moment you are in the center, the refuge Bodhicitta in Tibetan is bound to be said. So if you know how to say this, you know the little bit of the meaning, you'll feel included. You'll feel being a part of that. That is, in a way, is the beautiful connection. Okay, let me quickly explain the word meaning of this verse. Sangye is Buddha. Che Dharma, Thang and Buddha, Dharma and Tsok is assembly or accumulation. Assembly or accumulation. Tsok. Ki is the linking word. Chok is the excellent or supreme. Nam is these. La is two. So how the Tibetan language works and how the English language works is different. So they say English, the last of the English in a sentence. The last word of the English in Tibetan should come first. First in Tibetan, in English is the last. First in English is the Tibetan's last. You're getting it? And then if you have no idea how the language works, and this is the language, some languages, they are similar in nature, right? For example, English, Hindi and Tibetan, I think there's great similarity how the language works. Okay, so you may be wondering how first Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, I go for refuge, right? So in English, I go for refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, right? So this language thing. So if you're interested, you have to join linguistics. You have to learn. You have to join the study of linguistics. Okay. The next, Changchup Bhardu. Changchup is enlightenment. Changchup, enlightenment. Bhardu is until. Dak, Dag is I. Ni is linking word. Kyap is protection or refuge. Suchi is go for. Go for refuge. You have to go from bottom to up, from the end till the beginning. Kyap Suchi is in total is go for refuge. Next, Dag, third line. Dag is again I. Ki is again linking word. Jin is generosity. Jin is generosity or giving. Jin. Sok is etc. Sok, etc. Kipa is done or did. Kipe, done or did. Sok, accumulation. Namki, nam is these. Ki is the linking word. Last line. Dola is sentient beings or the migrators. Do. La is for. Pen chir is to benefit. Pen is benefit. Chir is in order to. Chir. Sangye, Buddha. Dupa is accomplish, attain. Shok is may. Okay, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of sentient beings. So this is how we read it. Okay, let's now read it 3 times together in Tibetan. Just see if it makes sense to you. Sanje Joda Soge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Tane Gyapsu Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjir Sanje Dubara Shum Sanje Joda Soge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Tane Gyapsu Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjir Sanje Dubara Shum Sanje Joda Soge Chonam Na Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyapso Che Tage Jinso Kebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sanje Dobara Sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, by my accumulations through the practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Okay, next we turn to page 6. Page 6. Essence of Dependent Origination Mantra in Tibetan. Tendel Nyingbe Sunga. In Sanskrit, Pratit Samutpata Hridaya Mantra. Okay, first we'll say the meaning in English, translation of the meaning, and then we'll recite the mantra one time. Then I'll give the word meaning of the mantra. Again, we'll recite it 2 times. Okay, first the meaning. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay. Let's recite this mantra 3 times. And many of us, we know how to recite this mantra. So those of us who do not know how to recite this mantra, don't worry. Just listen to us and join us. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato yavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye swaha. Okay, I will explain the meaning now, and then we'll recite it once more. The first syllable, Om. This syllable, Om, with or without, is both fine. Both are fine, with or without. Say, oftentimes we see the mantra without the Om, Ye Dharma, directly, Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava. But if you want to add it, you can add it, it's fine. There's no, they say, the demerit of having additional syllable. No demerit. Okay. If you want to add it, Om is extremely important, the sound, and with a deep meaning in Buddhism and also in Hinduism. So in Buddhism, how that is understood in Buddhism, Om, syllable Om is consisted of 3 letters. This syllable is consisted of 3 letters. A, U, Ma. It's not A-O-Ma, it's A-U-Ma, but when combined together, it sounds Om, not Om. And don't ask me why. Right? For example, like C-U-P. Hey, English. C-U-P. How do you pronounce it? Cup. P-U-T. Don't say put. C-U-P is cup, so therefore P-U-T should be put. Don't try to extend the same thing. This is how the language works. Every language has this, and there is this, the word ambiguity, and also the complexities are there. I'll say so this is how the language works. A-U-Ma, it becomes, combined together, it becomes Om. Okay. The 3 letters, A-U-Ma, symbolize the body, space, and mind. Body, space, mind of you when we are defiled, and the body, space, mind of you when you become enlightened. When you are defiled and when you're enlightened. So they say A symbolizing your body, U symbolizing your speech, Ma symbolizing your mind, body, speech, mind of you now when our minds, when our body, speech, mind are defiled. For example, look at a body. Our body, no matter how much we take care of this body, it becomes older, older, older. No matter how much we take care of this. Then the speech, what we say, it easily offends others. This is how defiled it is. And the mind is terrible. So this is how the body, speech, mind that we have now. But are these your true nature? No, these are not your true nature. Your true nature, the true nature of your body, speech, mind, they are so extremely pure, perfectly pure, which we're going to study tomorrow. For time being, say our job is to go back to your true nature. Go back to your true nature. Body, speech, mind, which are so impure, we go back to the true nature of the perfect purity. And when we say, when I explain these things, from go back to the true nature, don't take that as metaphorically. You're getting it? And if you're not happy, you have to ask question. Don't think that, oh, this is all just metaphorical, it's all esoteric, it's all something they say that I have to take on the basis of the blind faith. No. All what we say, see if it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, you must feel free to bring them up in the group discussion or bring them in the class. You're getting this, so important. Don't just take things that, okay, this is what they say according to Buddhism. No. Say if you eat food, your hunger will disappear. According to which tradition? Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. If you food, your hunger will disappear. According to which tradition? Oh, you are following Buddhism. According to Buddhism, this is true. But according to us, no, we don't have to, we eat food, it becomes more hungry. No, this is a universal fact. You're getting it? So what we are studying from tomorrow is a universal fact. It's nothing to do with isms. You're getting it? So therefore, you learn this and see if it makes sense to you that you should become a happier person. And then see how to spread this happiness to your family members. Simply because of money, the power, status, does not guarantee that you become a happier person. So by transforming your ignorance to the wisdom, by selfishness to the altruistic compassion, that guarantees that you become a happier person. So this is what for we're here. And whatever we learn, we make sure that it makes some sense to you. Don't take things for, say that it's a great opportunity for us. We're meeting like 7 times a day. And you can bring these questions up in the group discussions, and there are many seniors. They can give answers. If you're not happy, bring them written and bring them on my table. You getting it? If you're not happy by the answers given by your seniors, you getting it? Okay. And if you're still not happy with my answers, don't worry. Your questions actually contributed to all of us. It will enlighten me. It will enlighten all the others who are listening to your question. You're getting it? So you can take this question forward. It's not that I'm the only person who is a universal truth. There are so many great teachers, and there are many things which I may not be able to answer. There are many other teachers. You're getting it? But the point is that don't be yes minister. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I say that, okay, discuss this question with other teachers. And they go and they get some answers and then they follow yes minister. You're getting it? Yes minister meaning, say you don't know how to ask the second question. You should be able to ask the second question till you are convinced. You're getting it? Whereas if you're not convinced and you say, okay, I've got an answer. This is a yes minister. Don't be a yes minister. You're getting it? So in other words, what we learn, it should make sense to you. Okay. So with this in mind, the point is that when you recite the Om, we should be reminded of the 3 syllables, A-U-Ma, symbolizing body, speech, and mind, impure body, speech, and mind. And my job is to transform the impure body, speech, and mind to the pure body, speech, and mind, which are my true nature. Which are my true nature. And whether you're male or female, there's no difference. You're getting it? There's no difference. That, okay, the males are more important. This is, so I always tell people that today, if there's any community where the male is considered more important, this is a backward community. You're getting it? Where there is a feeling that, oh, we are special. You know, we are special. I'm a Buddhist. Buddhists are special. Or we are Hindus, we are special. We are Christian, we are special. We are the chosen ones. Or say that, oh, we are male, we are special. If this is attitude, this is a sign of your backwardness. This is not the sign of civilization. And the Buddha was extremely revolutionary in ways that under the Bodhi tree, he became enlightened, and then he revolutionized the whole system where gender discrimination was at the peak. He just demolished this by saying that there should be no gender discrimination. Where the caste system was extremely at the peak, he said that there should be no caste system. If anybody follows my tradition, what is important is your Dharma practice that decides how fine-tuned you are. It's not about in which category you are born. This is not the greatness of your birth. The greatness of your birth is that how much you learn it, how much you practice, what is the level of your compassion, what's the level of understanding of having the common sense. That determines how evolved you are, not about the place where you're born, which group you're born. This doesn't make difference. So this is why Buddha, in those days, extremely difficult time where there's so much pressure coming from everywhere. When the Buddha was talking about the equality, fighting against the gender discrimination, fighting against any form of discrimination, Buddha faced a lot of challenges from the communities. You're going to get, still he stood so firm against all forms of discrimination. So the point of what I'm saying here is that why the Buddha became extremely strong against the gender discrimination, because that he could see this potential within everyone as equal. Male, female, there's no difference. Everyone has the seed of perfection. It's a matter of how much effort did you put in. So this is indicated by the syllable Om. Okay, the next. How can we transform this impure body, speech, and mind that I have into the pure body, speech, and mind of the enlightened one? How can I do that? So for this, the remaining lines of the verse speaks. Ye dharma, these, dharma, phenomena, ye dharma, hetu, cause, prabhava, arise. So the first line says, these phenomena arise from causes. These phenomena arise from causes. Om ye dharma hetu prabhava. Next, second line. Hetum, the plural form of cause. Hetum, plural form of cause. This is Sanskrit, by the way. Sanskrit, plural form of cause. Tesham, these. these causes, hetum tesham tathagato, the one who has gone to the thusness, one who's gone to the ultimate, meaning the Buddhas, tathagato. Hyavatat is said or taught. So these causes were taught by the Tathagata. What are these causes? Say we go through miseries. What are the causes of the miseries? The causes of miseries are taught by the Tathagata. Tesham chayo nirota. Third line. Tesham, again these. Chayo is whatever. Whatever of these what? Causes. The causes implicit. Causes indicated implicitly. Whatever of these causes, nirota, cessation, stopping, coming to an end, bring an end to the causes of the suffering. Causes, nirota. Next line, evam. Evam is thus. Thus, vadi is again taught or said. Maha is the great. Shramana, seer or the saint, the great saint. Yesvaha is established. Is established. Okay, the last line, if I read it completely, is like the third line, whatever the cessation of whatever of these causes, cessation of whatever of these causes, the next line, the fourth line, is thus taught by the great seer. Okay, so what's the full meaning? The full meaning is that we go through miseries, stress, tension, and so forth. And okay, raise your hands those who are fed up with the miseries in your life. Fed up with the miseries, raise hands. Jimela, not fed up? Okay, you are young. So the misery is waiting for us, right, young ones. Okay, so say again, I did not notice that. Raise hands those who are fed up with miseries or who are tired of the miseries, right? And who are very serious, who want to stay away from miseries now. If you want to get away from the miseries, you have to know how to remove the causes of the miseries. You're getting it? How to know the cause, how to remove the cause of miseries. If the cause of miseries are there, and you try to, for example, say, if I'm suffering from tuberculosis, and the symptoms like headache, fever, loss of appetite, and so forth. So fever, I take medicine. I take paracetamol. Right? So it helps me to remove the temporary symptoms. But the main problem would not be solved because the root is still there. Till you tackle the root, miseries will never be solved. The wise people will tackle the root. Unwise people will tackle the symptoms. You're getting it? For example, from a wall, if there's little dampness there, if there's dampness there from the wall, and then what do you do? Remove where the dampness is, where the dampness is. You remove it and you plaster it. Right? This is symptomatic treatment. Because this dampness is not necessarily from outside. It can be from a pipe leakage from inside. You're getting it? And again, after a few days, again, the swelling will happen on the wall. Okay. So, wise people, how do you demarcate between wise and unwise people? Wise people will look for the root. Unwise people look for the symptoms. You're getting it? So, the Buddha, and where you tackle the symptoms, your problem will never be gone rid of from the root. So we have to identify the root extremely precisely. If you do not identify the root, and you think that you identify the root, but if you identify only a very shallow root, again, it does not serve the purpose. We should be able to identify the root as it is, the real, the root of the problems. We have to identify that and then see how to get rid of this. So it says, Ye dharma hetu prabhava. Ye dharma, this phenomena arise from the causes, particularly the phenomena of your miseries, which we dislike, sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, and the pain of losing near and dear ones. pain of losing near dear ones. And then each one of us, right? As of now, when we see somebody going through cancer and so forth, we feel sympathy. But we are in the row. We're in the same row, going that direction, right? So we never know any time. So the reality is that in 150 years from now to the future, that not even a single person on this planet Earth will survive. 100%. 8 billion human beings today will disappear in 150 years from now, right? And some may disappear, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, next year. So this is the life. So the point is that and these miseries, if you don't want these, then the miseries and the wise people will tackle the root so that you don't have to think about miseries at all. You become totally, eternally fearless. Okay. If you want to go in this direction, then you have to cut the root. So what are the roots? First, we have to know that these don't arise randomly. They arise from the root. Ye dharma hetu prabhava. All these phenomena arise from the causes, the root, the causes. Hetum tesham tathagato hyavatad. What are the causes? What are the causes of our miseries? Again, we have to identify them so well. Say, if I tell you that there's, say, my cloth, this shawl, say 1 year ago, this shawl fell in mud, and you advised me, right? Fell in mud, and then I picked this up and I washed it under the running water, clean running water, and it becomes very clean, right? And then 3 days ago, so this same shawl fell in a grease. What is grease? Hey, what is grease? Oil, right? Oil, thick grease. It fell in grease, and then because of my early experience, 1 year ago, it fell in the mud. I washed it under the running water. It became so clean. So today, don't worry. It fell in grease. I wash it under the running water. It'll become clean. I wash it. It doesn't become clean, right? It doesn't become clean. So what's the problem? Anyone? What advice would you give? Right? Say that the 1 year earlier I washed it so well, and then it was just with the running water, it became so clean. So this some 2 days ago, I was under running water. It's not becoming clean. Is there some change in the water because of global warming? Change the water? What happened? No, I'm very serious. 1 year ago, I was under running water. It became so clean. At this time, it's not becoming clean at all. What's the problem? Over there, the lady there. So this problem that I have, problem caused by the cause. Earlier it was mud. Today it's not a mud. It's a grease. These two are very different. Because the mud can be remedy, can be simple water. It's fine. But the grease, simple water cannot be the right remedy. So how do we know which remedy to apply? For that we have to check the problem, root of the problem. If you don't know the root of the problem well, then you don't know what remedy to apply. But if you know the root of the problem so well, then you can apply the exact remedy. And then your problems will be brought to an end. So for that, it's so important for us to know the nature of the defilements, nature of the mental defilements. If you don't know that, you will not know what remedy to apply. Otherwise, you will just do some simple meditation and you think that this is a remedy. No. It's very sophisticated. The root of the problem is extremely sophisticated. For this, we are going to spend 1 week. Okay, it's same. But how many of you have some, friends, like Geshes, Kempos, Geshemas? Raise hands. All of you have Geshema friend here, right? Okay, right? Okay, if you have, don't tell them that you study emptiness, Bodhicitta, everything in 1 week. You're getting it? They spend 20, 30 years just for emptiness. You're getting it? They spend 20, 30 years. Okay, so don't tell them. Maintain a dignified silence. If they ask you, what did you do in Bodhgaya? Just maintain dignified silence, right? Yeah. Don't say, we study emptiness. They'll say, wow, that's amazing, right? For how many years you studied, right? 10 years? No. Then 10 months? No. Then 10 weeks? No. Then 1 week, right? Then they will think it's a joke. So better maintain dignified silence, right? Okay. So with this in mind, what are the causes? If you identify the causes so well, then you will know what remedies to apply. You're getting it? So it says, Hetum tesham tathagato hyavatat. What the causes of miseries are is taught by the Tathagata. Okay. Tesham chayo nirodha. Because you know the causes now, you know the remedies. You know the remedies, you apply the remedies, then the causes can be brought to an end and the miseries will come to an end. For example, like, say, the iceberg. I hope you agree with me that 1,000 years ago, iceberg in Arctic Circle, iceberg, they were extremely solid, right? Not melting like today, global warming. 1,000 years ago is solid, and even you built like stacked buildings on top of the iceberg, still it holds so firmly. So what is stacked like many years ago, today with the global warming, the iceberg melts. The root, the foundation of all what is stacked above, the foundation melts, everything what is stacked will crumble. You're getting it? When the root is cut, all the miseries will crumble. Your miseries will come to an end. So this is the incredibly great smartness, incredibly great wisdom of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Okay. Tesham chayo nirota. How to bring an end to the cause of these miseries? Evam vati is thus taught by Mahashramana Yeswa. Mahashramana, the great saint. Great saint refers to the Buddha. When we say the Buddha, it doesn't mean only the Buddha Shakyamuni. All the Buddhas, when you become a Buddha, you'll also teach the same thing. When you become a Buddha, you'll also teach the same thing to the sentient beings. You're getting it? Okay. We'll say this 3 times together. And see if the meanings can be reflected as we recite this. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum tesham dathagato hyavatat tesham chayo nirodha evam vati mahashramanaye svaha. Okay, the meaning in English, all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well is taught by the great seer. Okay, now before we wind up this session, we'll turn to page 50, I think, 50. Page 50. This is taking the aspiration Bodhicitta vow, and to make ourselves familiar with the verses which we use for that purpose. I'm going to quickly explain this here. I personally met with many people who are otherwise very compassionate. They are very compassionate. And then those compassionate people, in one way they have a sense of little guilt. The guilt is a totally a baseless guilt. It's because of themselves being so kind, they feel a very strange guilt. The guilt that when I'm being compassionate with others, I feel happy. You're getting it? I feel happy, and this is actually wrong. I should make others happy. You're getting it? Do you see the some kind of dilemma there? That I'm being when I'm trying to be compassionate towards others, compassion meaning to help others, to make others happy. But before others become happy, I become happy. So I feel guilty, right? Okay. So the Buddha's teachings are extremely practical. Be very realistic. There are three choices: lose, 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 lose. Other lose, you also lose. Both losers. This is one choice. Other one is that the other winner, you loser, right? Still another, the you winner, other loser, and still other win-win. You are winner, other winner, and that too perfectly a winner. You will gain perfect happiness for yourself, and others get perfect happiness. Which is the best option? What's the problem with win-win? You're getting it? What's the problem with the win-win? This is smart. If you go for the win-win, there's no danger that you'll quit the welfare of the others. Initially, you are too enthusiastic. You think of the win-lose, right? I lose and you win. If you go for this, then you are missing the ground. You're missing the ground. Because Charles Darwin talked about selfish genes. You're getting it? We all have these selfish genes. Till we become, right, Bodhisattva to a high level, we have the selfish genes there. And those who think that, oh no, I should not win, others should win. If this is your attitude, if it's your attitude, you ask this question. If it's somebody else's attitude, ask this question to others. The question is, you give the answer to this question. Day one you're born on this planet Earth, day one you're born, if you think that, oh, win-win, I also win, by making others win, this is very selfish. If this is your attitude, right, then you have not found the ground. What's the ground? The ground reality is what you demonstrated day one you're born. Day one you're born, you demonstrated your ground reality of your emotion. How many of you must have cried? I'm sure you do not remember day one you're born, but you can conjecture. How many of you must have cried day one you're born? Raise hands. How many of you must have cried when day one you're born? Okay. And why did you cry? Did you cry that, by the way, if you do not cry, somebody will slap you to make you cry, right? So that you breathe well. Okay. And when you cried, how did you cry? Oh, the other baby. Right? The other baby is not being fed. Other baby is feeling cold. Please feed the other baby. Or somebody slapped me. I'm hungry. I'm feeling cold. I'm in pain. How did you cry? We all cried saying that I have that problem. You never cried that other baby is suffering. You're getting it? So this is a ground reality. If you talk about helping others and just neglecting yourself, you have not found the ground. And if you don't have the ground, then you stack the building is very unstable. The time, oh, everything is good, everyone is good, I'm the one who is hopeless, I'm the one who's bad. If this is your attitude, you neglect yourself. So with this, the problem is that one day, say after doing everything for others, one day you are in a grave problem. You are in a grave problem. Nobody's there to help you. Then you lose total confidence and hope and trust in the humanity. Now all others just hopeless person. Then you turn against Dharma. You're getting it? This is because that you have not found the ground. You started Dharma from the air, not from the ground. The ground reality is that we have some degree of selfishness. From there, I want happiness. And when you see that I want happiness, and then by doing good for others, when you get the happiness, your happiness also taken care of. So that you will not really worry about who will take care of me when I always take care of others. This question will never come to you. Why burnout cases happen? Why burnout cases happen is because you do too much for others, and then you feel exhausted, you feel tired. And then you see that nobody's there to help me, and I suffer alone. Then you feel the burnout. Whereas the mothers don't feel the burnout. Why? Because she could feel the love and affection from others, from the children. That I help my child, this is what makes me happy. You're getting it? Okay. So this is what you can do. This is known as the skillful compassion. Skillful compassion, where your compassion keeps growing and you never feel burnout. You will never quit. Whereas oftentimes people practice compassion and over time they quit. Because they see that finally I suffer, nobody comes to help me. You're getting it? This is known as unskillful compassion. What is required is we need to practice the skillful compassion. Okay, so with this in mind, page 50. Okay. So the point is that the real happiness that we are seeking is purely mental, right? Say you may have, say, physically everything, materially everything, but you can still remain extremely hollow, lonely, unhappy person. You agree? His Holiness the Dalai Lama, there many years ago, used to share this, that once he was invited by, say, a top-ranking professor who is the vice chancellor of a university, and extremely learned and extremely respected, financially taken care of. And His Holiness, when he was there, His Holiness was so curious what was in the cabinet of this washroom. And in the cabinet he opened, and he saw the tranquilizers, sleeping pills. So the money, power, status, these don't guarantee the sound sleep. You're getting it? Why no sound sleep? Because of mental stress, anxiety, and so forth. So, whereas, even in the family, where the material, they may be so poor, or say in a small house, the father, mother, 3 children all live together, kitchen, dining hall, bedroom, whatever is this small room. Everything's there. But whatever little scrap of bread they are eating is so delicious. It's so delicious. They may have the water and the bread. That's it. No 3, 4, 5, 10 items. But it's so delicious. Because they say everything they're enjoying is out of love. Love makes everything so beautiful. So, finally, we see that it's not about the material things. Of course, it doesn't mean that the external things are to be neglected. We should be very realistic. At the same time, ultimately, it is your internal, say, ultimate happiness to experience internally. We'll study more deeply tomorrow. And we all seek fearlessness. Yes? Raise hands. Fearlessness. We all want the maximum happiness. Raise hands. Okay. Fearlessness. Why we have the fear? We don't feel the fearlessness at the moment, because the seed is there, but that seed is obscured by these one set of mental defilements, which is known as afflictive obscurations. And the infinite happiness, again we have the seed. Why we are not experiencing that is because that is blocked by a set of mental defilements known as cognitive obscurations. Don't worry, we'll go into more detail tomorrow. Okay, so these two defilements, they obscure these two things. Once the defilements are removed, then the fearlessness and the infinite happiness comes from within yourself. From within. And it's not that if you're a Buddhist, you have this. If you're not a Buddhist, you don't have this. No, everybody has this. It's a congenital the effect, a congenital quality within yourself. So so this thing, the quality that you have, when that manifests, that is known as, they say, you become the fearless. Technically, this is known as nirvana. And you experience infinite happiness, technically referred to as Buddhahood. In a secular sense, fearlessness and infinite happiness. In a technical sense, nirvana and Buddhahood. Okay, so our job is what? Our job is to find out, okay, how many of you, right? You are in a corporate world, raise hands. Corporate world, work in a corporate world, or your private business, or the employee, right? Okay, whatever you're doing, or you're being supported by the parents, right? Supported parents. Say, whatever you are getting, this is whatever you're doing, whatever you're eating, this is meant for you to get rid of your problems and to increase your happiness. How many agree with me, raise hands? Meant to increase happiness, meant to remove your problems. Good. If that is the case, then our journey must be in that direction. To wisely remove all the fears and to wisely embrace the maximum happiness. That should be a lifelong journey. That should be a main journey. You're getting it? And say they're looking for food. Yes, of course, that's very important. We have to sustain ourselves. So these are like the immediate measures. We need the immediate measures, and we need long-term measure for our long-term benefit. So for that matter, long-term benefit will take a long time. Because of this is a journey we have never undertaken thus far, right? This journey to unravel the hidden treasure inside. So, say for the food, you go inside or you go outside? You go outside, right? Which means that you are not looking for the real treasure. So now to go inside, this is something which we have almost not done before. To go inwardly to look for the hidden treasure, unearth the hidden treasure. We did not really do it thus far. So that journey is something which is so important, yet it requires a lot of support and help. And the greatest of the support is the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. So the first line says, page 50, the first line says, I go for refuge to the Triple Gem, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, right? And then later on, I'm just quickly explaining this to you now to make sure that day after tomorrow, when we go to the Bodhi temple, there we take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, it makes sense that our time together will be meaningful. Otherwise, usually it takes like 2-3 days for me to reach to this level of explaining this. The next is this journey. Journey involves a road, a path. And this road is not an external road, it's an internal journey. Your mind is the path. So this journey, if the road is blocked by the boulders and the fallen trees, you cannot undertake the journey. How many agree with me? If the road is blocked by the fallen trees and the boulders, you cannot undertake the journey. So this road is none other than your own mind. This mind must be removed from the blockage of the fallen trees and the boulders of the mental defilements. You have to remove the mental defilements as much as possible. And how to do that is by confessing the mental negativities. Second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Okay, now the road is very clear, but if the car doesn't have fuel, again, you cannot undertake the journey. So the car requires a lot of fuel, and the car is none other than your own mind. Your mind has to travel to the Buddhahood. Your mind has to travel to the state of full awakening. So this car, which your mind is like the metaphor of the car. So this mind should have enough fuel, the fuel of the merit. And many of you will surely have this question: what is merit? What is merit? You discuss with others, and if you're not happy, bring this up on my table. What is merit? You're getting it? In other words, it's like the fuel of the car. It's like the fuel of the car. For our mind to move, some people, how many of you notice that? Some people, when they encounter with little difficulty, they give up. Some people, they never give up. Their resilience is so strong. How many of you have noticed that? Raise hands. Yes. Which is better? Giving up very quick is better, so that the headache is gone. No, headache is more. You're getting it. You give up. You give up, you will never cross the burden. The burden will continue to torture you. You getting it? So, those people, some people, they never give up. They have the resilience. There's some. What is that? Where is this resilience coming? Some people, they give up very easily. I have this problem, I have that problem, I have this problem, I have that problem, right? And they always in their mouth, there's always problem coming out. Problem. And they quickly give up, right? Oh, now I cannot do that, right? Oh, now you must be enjoying, right? No, I'm not enjoying, right? You give up, there's nothing good in there. You don't give up. Not giving up requires a lot of strength. A lot of strength. Let's say, the cheap plastics and high quality plastic. What's the difference? Cheap plastics, they just put a little bit of force, it'll break. High quality plastics, they'll not break. You getting it? In the plastics, what is that? Dr. Padmala, right? Say the plastics. Some plastics you can use to store food. Some plastics, not good for storing food, right? There's the various grades, the qualities of the. So likewise, even the people we look same. 2 eyes, 1 nose, like this. But the resilience power differ, right? Some have tremendous resilience power. Some don't have the resilience power, right? We say, right? Tomorrow, no. Day after tomorrow, right? A little bit of sun, right? Oh, it's so sun, I cannot go, right? And others, what is sun, right? What is sun? Okay. Last year, I was in Europe, and then my friends, they were sending me a message saying, Geshe, be careful, there's a heat wave. And yes, oh, what is heat wave? I asked back, what is heat wave? Oh, it's very scary, it's very hot, right? Then, oh, what is that, right? Heat wave, a warning is given by the government. European, in all the European countries, one is given heat wave tomorrow. And what is heat wave? 35 degrees centigrade. Oh, 35 degrees centigrade is what? This is what it's so pleasant weather for us. So it's a breeze for us. From Delhi people, what is 35? 38 is a breeze for us. 40 is a breeze for us. 46, 47 degrees centigrade, 35. What is the heat wave? Right? You're getting it? So what I'm saying is that the resilience power, this is so important. So that is the fuel of the mind. Just as the fuel of the car takes you move. And the fuel is so less, right? 1 kilometer, the car gets stuck, right? And the car cannot move because there's no fuel anymore, right? When the resilience is lacking, even the resilience can be built up. We can build up the resilience. Finally, what do you do? What do you do? Say, particularly if you find the real path, stick to it. Don't waver too much. Don't waver too much. Stick to it. Get there, and you will you'll get the master key. Once you get the master key, you don't have to take 100 keys with you. You can chuck. 100 keys, no need. You take one master key, then that opens 100 doors. You're getting it? Some people, they look for, oh, this door must, I need this keys for this room, key for this room. They look for hundreds of keys. They're so heavy, they're going to move. Right? Well, some people, they're very smart. They only look for master key. Once you get the master key, all the remaining 100 doors are all open very easily. Right? Okay. So that requires resilience. The power of the mind. So the power of the mind, how build up the energy, build out the virtues, and how to accumulate enormous amount of virtues within a short span of time is by rejoicing in the virtues of others. So third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Good things, no jealousy. Okay, now you have the support of the True Believer, best of the support. The road is very clear. The car is enough fuel. What kind of a journey are you going to undertake? the journey to experience the maximum goodness for yourself and the maximum goodness for others. What is that? Full awakening. The fourth line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood. Buddhahood, it doesn't mean Buddhism. Don't forget it. Buddhahood doesn't mean Buddhism. Buddhahood means, Buddha is a Sanskrit word. It means awakening. Awakening the treasure, the hidden treasure within us. Awakening that treasure of fearlessness and infinite happiness for yourself and for all the beings. Okay, so let me quickly finish the next two verses, then we'll stop here. So next two verses, so why we are doing this is so important that from tomorrow we're going to take the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and if you don't know the meaning, again it takes a lot of time and the effectiveness will be lost. So second and the third verses, we use that as the verses for taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, by invoking the Buddhas, Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to pay heed to you. And say that I want to become, you said that I want to become fully awakened one. I want to become Buddha. I want to become the fully awakened one. But in the history of the humanity, is there somebody who could do that for yourself and for all the beings? If you browse through the history of the humanity, we see that 2,500 years ago, under the Bodhi tree, here, Prince Siddhartha, after 6 years of austere practice, he became enlightened under this. He succeeded. And how did he succeed? So now 2,500 years pass, still innumerable beings are benefited. Innumerable beings are taken from these state of misery to state of ultimate happiness, state of selfishness to the state of other cherishing, state of ignorance to the state of wisdom. Still the benefit is being continuously happening. And how come that he succeeded? Today look at His Holiness the Dalai Lama. His Holiness is the pure product of this teaching, that this Prince Siddhartha, under the Bodhi tree, who became enlightened. So he taught this, and now look at this, all these incredible great products like Arinigarjuna, Bodhisattva Arideva, Acharya Chandragati, and then today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama. All these great teachers from the Theravada tradition, from the Chinese tradition, from the Tibetan tradition, from the different traditions, all these, say, the enlightened beings were produced from this teaching of the Buddha Shankara. How come that he becomes somebody like that to benefit himself ultimately and to benefit others also ultimately? How? For two factors. He created two factors. What are the two factors? One, he generated extremely the strong driving force of the Bodhicitta, motivation of the Bodhicitta. May I become awakened for the benefit of all sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. Number one, factor one. Factor two, the factor one is just aspiration. May I, may. But when you say may, you have to take steps. You have to do something. So what did he do? He engaged in the Bodhisattva practices. Like what? 6 perfections and the 4 perfections, making 10 perfections. He engaged in these practices. So these practices, we will study more. Generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm. Hey, what happened? I hope that there are some NMC 1, NMC 2, NTC 1, 2, 3. Hey, generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm or joyous effort, meditative concentration, wisdom. Okay, 6 perfections and 4 perfections. Skillfulness, aspirational prayers, power, and primordial wisdom. Primordial wisdom. Okay, these more details we'll study in the class. Okay, so this is how he succeeded to become awakened, that he's able to experience the ultimate fearlessness and infinite happiness himself, and he's able to share this wisdom with all the other beings. If this is how he succeeded, I'll also follow his footsteps. How? By creating these 2 factors within myself. One, to generate a very strong motivation of bodhicitta. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings. The way and the manner in which the Buddha Shankara, Prince Siddhartha, became Buddha under the Bodhi tree here, in this place. May I also become one like him, become a Buddha. That is the motivation, Bodhicitta motivation. Now, how to materialize this aspiration? By engaging in the Bodhisattva practices. 6 perfections plus 4 perfections. Okay, we'll say this first verse 3 times together, followed by the remaining 2 verses 3 times together, then we'll stop here. As we recite this, see if we can reflect on the meanings as well. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be here to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, just as they successfully dwelt in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Buddhist practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, just as they successfully dwelt in the Buddhist practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas, and Bodhisattvas, peace be here to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successful train the Bodhisattva practices. Okay, let us turn to page 31 before we wind up the practice. Page 31. We'll recite the Heart Sutra mantra 3 times together. And quickly, just to give the literal surface meaning of the mantra, the detailed explanation will take a little time. And if we get time, I'll be happy to explain this in more detail in the class. And anybody who likes to remind me, okay, the Tenzin Shundenla here, barely raise hand. Tenzin Shundenla, anyone else? I need like 2 or 3 hands. Okay, the Pamela. Okay, Pamela, Manjariji, and the boy over there, your name? Jay. Okay, we have 4 of them. Will remind me before we wind up this the class, meaning this retreat. In case we get time, we will surely do that in more detail. Quick explanation of this is Tatyatha. Tibetans would read it as Tatyatha. Sanskrit version is Tatyatha. Tatyatha means here is thus. Here is thus what we should be doing. What we should be doing is here. It is thus here. Tatyatha. You want to add the Om? No Om is up to you. Gate gate is go go. Paragate, go beyond. Parasangate, go utterly beyond. Bodhi Swaha, establish your full awakening. Go, go. So can you relate with this mantra, the meaning of this mantra with what we said earlier? We are undertaking the journey of full awakening. Journey is go, means a journey. Go on a journey, right? So this meaning. So this journey of enlightenment has 5 steps. 5 steps. Gate, gate. Paragate, parasangate, bodhi swaha. It's just not accidentally said go, 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 go. It's not like that. There's a reason there. There are 5 points indicated there, 5 reasons there, 5 steps there. And 5 steps we'll study later. Or let me say this again. Tatyatha. Here's thus. How to take the journey is here. Gade, gade, go, go. Go from the state of misery to the state of ultimate happiness. Go from the state of ignorance to the state of wisdom. Go from the state of selfishness to the state of universal compassion. How? Gate, gate, go, go. Paragate, go beyond. Parasangate, go utterly beyond. Bodhi Swaha, establish your full awakening. So 5 steps. And more detailed studies we'll do later when you get time. Okay, we'll say this the 3 times together. And many of us know how to say this because many of them are from Narendra Studies program or from the early retreats. And those of us who don't know how to say this, listen to us and then join us. Deyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswatyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgati Bodhiswaha. Okay, last dedication prayer, page 52. Dedication prayer, page 52. Okay, it's a very auspicious beginning. We're together here, and many of us, they see that many of my long-term friends, familiar faces are here. Now the new faces also. We're going to know each other the next 1 week, and it's a great the auspicious that we are together here. So one, of course, the Buddha Shakyamuni, the Prince Siddhartha, here in the land of the enlightenment, he became enlightened, because of which it draws millions and millions of people since like 2,500 years till today. People are attracted, drawn to this place to get blessings and inspiration from the Buddha. And then this beautiful place, rooted in Shield, the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama inspired Lama Yeshe over there, a great teacher, Lama Yeshe, and his student Lama Subarambache, two of them collectively put all this effort to start all these beautiful centers, all the PM centers. These amazing centers are there, and of course, with the sheer blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the inspiration from His Holiness, and these two teachers started many of these centers, including Tushita Center. So that we can reap the maximum benefit, and now with the continuous people involved, like the volunteers, the directors, the SPCs, and so forth, making this place continue as functional, beneficial for so many people all these many years. So let's pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously, and that he lives long, and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And also let us pray that all the complications, the conflicts in the world, from the family conflicts like domestic violence to the wars happening in the world, they all come to an end as soon as possible, that everybody can sigh, can take a fresh breath with sigh of relief. And let's also pray that all these the teachers of the different traditions, Theravada, Chinese tradition, Tibetan Buddhism, within Tibetan Buddhism, Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelug, so whoever teaches the universal compassion of Bodhicitta and the compassion to the teaching of the inclusivity rather than exclusivity, and the teaching of interdependency, may all these great teachers and the learning centers, they thrive in the activity of study, reflection, meditation. And may these centers be supported by the generous donors from everywhere. And may the teaching on the Bodhicitta, unconditional love Bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness thrive in the minds of all demon sentient beings. With this mind, let's turn to the page 52. I dedicate the merit thus gathered towards the realization that is in the prayers of all the Bodhisattvas of 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfume, and the 2 stages. From our 2 collections, vast space that have amassed From working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blind of ignorance. Okay, we'll stop here. And 3 prostrations.